The day I found that crimson paper slapped on my front door, my stomach churned like I'd swallowed a fistful of nails. Big, bold letters screamed "Eviction Notice," glaring at me in cold, blocky print. My hands trembled as I ripped it off, eyes darting over the official-looking document complete with the HOA's letterhead and what looked like a stamped signature. It claimed my wife, Lila, and I had 30 days to pack up and get out for violating community standards and failing to maintain neighborhood compatibility. My head spun. We'd never missed a mortgage payment, never gotten so much as a warning. Why were they kicking us out of our dream home? Lila heard me muttering curses and bolted outside. Her face drained of color as she read over my shoulder. "This has to be a mistake," she whispered, but the quiver in her voice betrayed her fear. "We'd scraped together SAVYNGS for 3 years to buy this place in Maple Grove, a picture-perfect suburban neighborhood with tree-lined streets and manicured lawns. It was our fresh start, our slice of the American dream. Now, it felt like that dream was slipping through our fingers like sand. From the moment we rolled into Maple Grove 6 months ago, Evelyn Harper made it crystal clear we didn't belong. As the HOA president for nearly a decade, she strutted around with her clipboard and measuring tape like a dictator wielding a scepter. Evelyn was in her late 50s, with impeccably styled platinum hair and a scowl that could curdle milk. Her smiles never reached her eyes, especially when they landed on us. The trouble started the day we moved in. We were still hauling boxes from the truck when she marched up, clutching a thick binder of HOA rules. "I figured you might need a refresher on our community standards," she said, her voice syrupy with fake sweetness, dripping with condescension. The way she lingered on standards, eyeing Lila up and down, set my teeth on edge. Over the next few weeks, Evelyn's passive-aggressive jabs turned into full-blown hostility. She filed noise complaints, claiming our TV was too loud at 7 p.m. on a random Tuesday. She left snippy notes on our windshield because our car was parked an inch off-center in our own driveway. When Lila planted VY Brandt tulips in our front garden, Evelyn showed up the next morning, measuring tape in hand, insisting the flower bed stretched 2 inches past the approved boundary. Things took a darker turn when Evelyn started questioning our right to even live here. One afternoon, she cornered Lila by the mailbox, demanding to see our lease agreement and prying into our income and jobs. When Lila politely brushed her off, Evelyn's fake CIVY lighty shattered. "People like you need to understand this neighborhood has standards," she hissed before storming off. That was 3 weeks ago. Now, clutching this EVY tie notice, I realized Evelyn had decided to play dirty. The document looked legit packed with legal jargon about breach of covenant and community disruption. But something felt wrong. The wording was too vague, and I couldn't recall signing anything that gave the HOA power to VYCT us for such flimsy reasons. Our neighbor, Walter Grayson, spotted me on the porch, staring at the red paper like it was a death sentence. Walter was a quiet guy in his 70s, the kind who kept to himself but always offered a nod and a smile. He shuffled over, concern etched into his weathered face. "You okay, kid?" he asked. I handed him the notice, and his eyebrows shot up. "Well, I'll be damned," he muttered, squinting through his glasses as he read. After a long pause, he looked at me, puzzled. "I've lived here 15 years, and I've never seen an EVY tie notice like this. These things usually go through the county first." Then he dropped a bombshell. "I was at the HOA meeting last Thursday," he said, lowering his voice and glancing around. "Your name never came up. No talk of EVY tie-ins, period. This stinks to high heaven." My gut screamed that Evelyn had crossed the line. Lila and I spent that night hunched over our laptop, researching our rights and hunting for a lawyer who could handle HOA disputes. By morning, I was on the phone with Sering Nguyen, an attorney with a stellar reputation for tackling housing law and discrimination cases. She took one look at the notice and spotted red flags faster than a hawk. The legal jargon was sloppy, the HOA letterhead was slightly off, and the signature? It belonged to a board member who'd quit 6 months earlier. "This is forgery, plain and simple," Sarah said, her voice calm but firm. "Whoever made this is looking at serious charges: fraud, harassment, maybe even hate crime violations, depending on their motive. We need a loop in the Real HOA board and file a police report. When we showed the forged notice to the actual HOA board, they were floored. The treasurer, Carlos Mendez, shook his head in disbelief. "We never approved this," he said. "We've been worried about Evelyn's VY, or for months. But this is unhinged." The board launched an investigation, hiring a digital forensics expert to dig into the document's origins. What they found was a goldmine of EVY denke. The file was created on Evelyn's personal computer, printed on her home printer. The font, paper, even the ink matched samples from her office. The real kicker? Her email. The expert uncovered messages where Evelyn bragged to a friend about fixing the neighborhood problem. One email read, "Sometimes you have to get creative when the system won't do what's right. These people don't belong here, and I'll make sure they know it." My blood ran cold. Armed with this, Lila and I filed a police report and reached out to a local housing rights group, who were horrified and ready to fight for us. Word spread through Maple Grove, and suddenly, neighbors started sharing their own stories of Evelyn's tyranny. She'd targeted other families over the years, always with some excuse to make life hell for anyone she deemed unfit. Her reign of terror was unraveling. On a chilly Tuesday morning, I was sipping coffee in my home office when I heard a commotion outside. Peeking through the window, I saw two police officers striding up to Evelyn's door. My heart raced as they flashed an arrest warrant. "Evelyn Harper, you're under arrest for forgery, harassment, attempted fraud, and CIVYL rights violations," Officer Daniels announced, his voice cutting through the crisp air. Evelyn's smug grin vanished, replaced by wide-eyed panic. "This is absurd," she shrieked, her voice cracking. "They're the ones who don't belong. I was protecting our neighborhood." But her protests were useless as the cuffs clicked shut. The officers led her to the patrol car, her perfect facade crumbling with every step. Neighbors watched in stunned silence, some shocked, others relieved, a few hanging their heads, ashamed they'd stayed quiet while Evelyn terrorized us all. In court, Evelyn's world collapsed. She was convicted on every charge. 2 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and due law $15,000 in fines and restitution to cover our legal fees and emotional toll. When the verdict hit, she went pale, slumping into her chair like the air had been sucked out of her. For the first time, she faced the real consequences of her hate. Maple Grove felt lighter after that, like a storm had finally passed. Lila and I could breathe again, our home truly ours. But the story doesn't end there. What would you do if someone tried to rip your home away just because they didn't think you fit? Should neighbors have spoken up sooner? Or is it too risky to challenge someone like Evelyn? Was her punishment fair? Or did the system go too hard? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if this story got your blood boiling. And subscribe for more real-life drama that'll keep you on the edge of your seat.